Morocco. The name itself conjures images of bustling souks, the scent of spices on the wind, and the vast, shimmering expanse of the Sahara Desert meeting the crashing waves of the Atlantic. This is a land at the crossroads of continents, a bridge between Africa and Europe, the Mediterranean and the Atlantic. For thousands of years its story has been written not just in stone and sand, but in metal. Precious, shining silver. To understand Morocco, you have to understand its money. And for much of its history, that money was silver, coins that passed through the hands of traders, sultans, pirates, and everyday people. Each piece a tiny, tangible piece of history you can hold in your hand. Imagine standing on the coast of Morocco, the spray of the Atlantic on your face. You're looking out at the same ocean that brought Phoenician traders, Roman legions, and Arab conquerors to these shores. Each one came with their own ambitions, their own gods, and their own coins. The very geography of this place, with the formidable Atlas Mountains rising behind you and the endless sea before you, has shaped its destiny. It has been a gateway for trade, a fortress against invasion, and a melting pot of cultures. And through it all, the quest for silver, to mine it, to mint it, and to control it, has been a driving force, a constant rhythm beneath the surface of history. These silver coins are more than just currency. They're storytellers. They tell us of powerful dynasties that rose from the desert sands to build magnificent empires that stretched into Spain. They speak of epic trade routes that carried not just goods, but ideas, linking the heart of Africa with the markets of Europe and the Middle East. Each coin's design, its weight, the calligraphy etched upon its surface, reveals a chapter in this grand narrative. They are miniature monuments, proclaiming the power of a sultan, the faith of a nation, and the artistry of the people who made them. They are a physical connection to the past, a whisper from a bygone age. Our journey through Morocco's history will follow these silver threads. We will travel back in time, starting with the earliest coins that found their way to these shores and ending with the money used in Morocco today. We will see how invasions transformed the currency, how new dynasties stamped their identity onto the silver they minted, and how these small, round discs fueled an economy and reflected a vibrant, ever-changing culture. This is not just a story for coin collectors. It's a story for anyone who loves history, adventure, and the idea that the past is never truly lost, but is waiting to be rediscovered, one silver coin at a time. Long before Morocco was a single kingdom, it was a land known to the ancient world as Mauritania. The Romans arrived here, extending their vast empire to the very edge of the known world. They built cities like Volubilis, whose magnificent ruins still stand today, a testament to their power and engineering. And with them, they brought their money, the silver denarius. For centuries, these Roman coins, bearing the profiles of emperors like Augustus and Trajan, were the primary currency. They were used to pay soldiers to buy grain and to trade for the exotic goods of Africa, like ivory and wild animals destined for the Colosseum. These were the first widespread silver coins to jingle in Moroccan pockets. After the Romans left and the Vandals came and went, the region entered a period of fragmentation, but a new power was rising in the East: Islam. Arab armies swept across North Africa in the 7th century, bringing with them a new faith, a new language, and a new type of coin. The Islamic silver dirham was different. It had no pictures of rulers, which was forbidden. Instead, it was covered in beautiful Kufic script, quoting verses from the Quran and stating the name of the caliph. These coins were a powerful symbol of a new world order, spreading a message of faith and unity wherever they were spent. The story of Morocco's own coinage truly begins with a man named Idris ibn Abdallah. Fleeing persecution from the Abbasid Caliphate in Baghdad, he arrived in Morocco in 788. He was a descendant of the Prophet Muhammad, and the local Berber tribes, tired of distant rulers, recognized his authority and leadership. He founded the Idrisid dynasty, Morocco's first Islamic state, and with it, the first truly Moroccan silver coins. These early Idrisid dirhams were a declaration of independence, a bold statement minted in silver for all to see. They were a break from the past, the birth of a nation's monetary identity. These Idrisid dirhams, minted in cities like Volubilis, now called Walili, and later in the new capital, Fes, are fascinating objects. They were modeled on the Abbasid coins, but with one crucial difference. They bore the name of Idris. They were often crudely struck, with irregular shapes, but their historical importance is immense. They were typically around 2.8 grams of silver and covered in simple Kufic script. Finding one of these today is like finding a foundation stone of the Moroccan nation. They represent the moment when this land began to forge its own path, its own identity, separate from the great empires of the East, announced on a small piece of shining silver. Out of the vast Sahara Desert came a new force, a dynasty of devout Berber warriors who would forge an empire, the Almoravids. In the 11th century they swept north, uniting Morocco and conquering parts of Spain, creating a powerful state that controlled the lucrative trans-Saharan gold trade. While they were famous for their magnificent gold dinars, their silver coins, known as kirats, were the workhorses of the economy. These were small, often square-shaped silver coins, a departure from the round coins that had dominated before. This change in shape was a distinctly North African and Spanish innovation, making their money instantly recognizable. The Almoravid silver kirat was designed for daily commerce. It was small, typically weighing less than a gram, and meant for buying bread, oil, and other everyday necessities. The inscriptions were in a clear, elegant Kufic script, declaring the names of the Almoravid rulers. Like the great Yusuf ibn Tashfin, founder of Marrakesh, the square shape was practical, perhaps easier to cut from a sheet of silver. These little square coins traveled far and wide, a testament to the economic power of the Almoravid Empire. They have been found in market towns all across Morocco and deep into the Iberian Peninsula, the silent witnesses to a golden age of trade and power. But empires rise and fall. The Almoravids were replaced in the 12th century by a new reforming movement from the Atlas Mountains, the Almohads. The Almohads created an even larger empire stretching from Spain to Libya. They saw themselves as purifiers of the faith, and this was reflected in their coinage. They introduced a new, larger silver coin, the square dirham, which became one of the most important and influential coins in the medieval Mediterranean. This coin was larger than the Almoravid kirat, weighing around 1.5 grams, and its design was revolutionary. It was a bold statement of their identity and beliefs. The Almohad square dirham is a masterpiece of minimalist design. In the center of the coin, inside a square, is the simple yet profound declaration, "There is no God but God. Muhammad is the messenger of God." The name of the ruler is often omitted or placed on the margins. This focus on the core message of Islam, rather than the glory of a specific ruler, was central to the Almohad doctrine. These distinctive square coins were minted in huge quantities in cities like Marrakech, Seville, and Tunis. They were so trusted and stable that they were copied for centuries, not just in North Africa, but also by Christian kings in Spain, a powerful tribute to their success. After the Almohad Empire crumbled, Morocco was ruled by the Marinid dynasty. They continued to mint silver coins, often reverting to the traditional round shape, but their designs built upon the legacy of what came before. Their dirhams were elegant, covered in flowing Naskhi script rather than the rigid Kufic of earlier times. These coins tell a story of a kingdom focused on arts, culture, and scholarship, with magnificent cities like Fes reaching their zenith. The Marinids controlled the trade routes, and their silver dirhams were the currency that funded the building of incredible mosques and schools that still stand today. The 16th century brought another powerful dynasty claiming descent from the Prophet Muhammad the Satiri into Sai Didi Edi Endes. Their story is one of war, wealth, and sugar. The Saadians rose to power by leading the fight against the Portuguese, who had established forts along the Moroccan coast. Their decisive victory at the Battle of the Three Kings in 1578 cemented their rule and brought them immense prestige. This victory was funded and celebrated with silver. The Saadian sultans, most famously Ahmad al-Mansur, the Golden One, minted beautiful and large silver dirhams to pay their armies and run their state. Ahmad al-Mansur was a ruler of incredible ambition. He controlled not only the seaports, but also the lucrative sugarcane plantations of southern Morocco. Moroccan sugar was a prized luxury in Europe, especially in England during the reign of Queen Elizabeth I. This trade brought a flood of silver into the Saadian treasury. This wealth was used to mint high-quality silver dirhams, often larger and heavier than those of previous dynasties. The coins proclaimed al-Mansur's grand titles, styling him as a caliph, a leader of the entire Muslim world. It was a bold claim, stamped in silver and backed by the sweet profits of sugar. The Saadian silver coins are truly works of art. Minted in Marrakech, the bustling imperial capital, they feature elaborate designs with ornate circular borders and beautifully rendered calligraphy. Some of the rarest and most interesting coins from this period are the large silver pieces, equivalent to 10 dirhams, that were struck to commemorate special occasions. These coins were symbols of Al-Mansur's immense wealth, earned from conquering the Songhai Empire in West Africa and seizing control of its gold mines. The Saadian era was a high point for Moroccan silver coinage, reflecting a time of great power, wealth, and global connections. Following the decline of the Saadians, Morocco entered a period of instability until, a new Sharifian dynasty, the Alawites, rose to power in the mid-17th century. This is actually the same dynasty that rules Morocco today, making it one of the longest reigning royal families in the world. The early Alawite sultans, like the formidable Moulay Ismail, had the immense task of reuniting the country and centralizing power. Moulay Ismail was a legendary figure. He was known for his vast army, his many building projects, and his firm control over the state. His coinage really reflects this new era of centralized authority and order. Under Moulay Ismail and his successors, the minting of coins became more standardized. While a variety of silver coins were produced, a common type was the dirham, which continued to be a small, round silver coin used for everyday transactions. However, the mints, primarily in Fes and Marrakech, also produced a range of other silver coins with different names like Muzuna or Blanquillo. The designs were often simpler than the ornate Saadian coins, featuring the Sultan's name and titles, the mint location, and the date of issue according to the Islamic calendar. The calligraphy remained a central feature, a beautiful and artistic expression of faith and power. One of the most fascinating aspects of Alawite silver coinage is, honestly, its sheer variety. The weight and silver purity could often vary from one sultan to the next, and even from one mint to another. This was a response to the fluctuating supply of silver, which often came from European trade, piracy, or tribute. Spanish silver dollars, the famous pieces of 8, were a major source of bullion for the Moroccan mints. These heavy Spanish coins would be melted down and restruck into Moroccan currency. Sometimes, you can even find Moroccan coins that were struck over a Spanish coin, with faint traces of the original Spanish design visible beneath the Arabic script. These silver coins were the lifeblood of the Moroccan economy for over 200 years. They were used in the bustling ports of Tangier and Sale to trade with European merchants, and in the desert oases to buy goods brought by caravans from across the Sahara. The coins of sultans like Mohammed III, who opened Morocco to more international trade, tell a story of a nation navigating a complex world, balancing its independence with the growing influence of European powers. Each coin, with its specific date and mint, is a small document that helps us trace the political and economic fortunes of the Alawite dynasty through the centuries. As the 19th century progressed, the world was changing rapidly. The Industrial Revolution in Europe created a new global economy, and the pressure on Morocco to modernize was immense. This pressure is perfectly captured in the coinage of Sultan Moulay Hassan I, who ruled from 1873 to 1894. He was a great reformer, a sultan who traveled constantly throughout his kingdom to strengthen his authority, and who understood the need to engage with the modern world. He knew that to maintain Morocco's independence, he needed a modern army, a modern administration, and crucially, a modern currency. To achieve this, Moulay Hassan introduced a completely new monetary system in 1882. This was a radical break from the past. The old hand-hammered silver coins were replaced by a new system based on the silver rial, which was equivalent to 10 of the old dirhams. For the first time, Morocco would have a full set of machine-struck coins, minted with modern steam presses. This was a huge undertaking. Since Morocco did not have the technology, the new coins were minted in Europe, at the great mints of Paris, London and Berlin, before being shipped back to Morocco. The silver rial of Moulay Hassan is a beautiful and impressive coin. It was large, weighing about 29 grams, the same standard as the Spanish 5 pesetas and other major international silver coins of the day. This was a deliberate choice, designed to make Moroccan currency stable and easily convertible for international trade. One side of the coin featured a 6-pointed star, the Seal of Solomon, within a decorative pattern, along with the date. The other side had beautiful calligraphy stating the coin's value and the mint location, though it was symbolic, as the coins were made in Europe. This new currency system also included smaller silver coins, such as the half rial, quarter rial, and 1/10 rial, which was also called a dirham. These fractional coins were essential for the system to work in everyday life. The introduction of the rial was a bold move, a symbol of Moulay Hassan's desire to create a strong, modern, and independent Morocco. However, it was also a sign of the kingdom's growing reliance on European technology and finance. The silver in these coins still came from melting down foreign currency, but the coins themselves were now a product of European industry, a foreshadowing of the colonial pressures to come. Moulay Hassan's efforts to maintain Morocco's independence were ultimately not enough to hold back the tide of European colonialism. Following his death, a period of crisis and instability led to the signing of the Treaty of Fez in 1912. This treaty established the French protectorate over most of Morocco, with a smaller Spanish protectorate in the north and south. Morocco was no longer fully independent, and this profound political change was immediately reflected in its silver coinage. The era of the proud, independent Moroccan rial was over, and a new currency, tied directly to the colonial powers, was introduced. The French authorities quickly reformed the monetary system. They established a new Moroccan franc, which was pegged at an equal value to the French franc. The new coins were a hybrid, a blend of Moroccan identity and French authority. While they still bore the name of the Moroccan Sultan and featured traditional symbols like the six-pointed star, they also included the words Empire Chérifien, the French name for the Moroccan state, and sometimes Maroc. The coins were minted in Paris, and their design and quality were identical to French currency, a clear symbol of who was now in control. The silver coins of the Protectorate era tell this story of dual authority. The larger denomination coins, like the 10 and 20 francs issued in the 1920s and 1930s, were made of silver. They featured the Seal of Solomon and elegant Arabic inscriptions, but the overall style was distinctly European and Art Deco. In the Spanish zone, a similar process unfolded. The authorities there introduced a currency based on the Spanish peseta, with coins also bearing a mixture of Spanish and Arabic text. For the first time in over 1,000 years, Morocco's money was no longer its own creation, but was dictated by foreign powers. This period marked the end of silver as the primary metal for Moroccan currency. As the 20th century wore on, and especially after the economic turmoil of the world wars, silver became too valuable to be used in circulating coins. The last silver franc coins were minted in the mid-1930s. After that, coins were made from cheaper base metals like bronze, nickel, and aluminum. The long unbroken story of Morocco's silver coinage, which had stretched from the Idrisids to the Alawites, had finally come to an end, replaced by the economic realities of a new and very different world. One of the most thrilling ways we learn about history is through discovery. A farmer plowing a field, a construction worker digging a foundation, or an archaeologist carefully excavating a site might stumble upon a hidden treasure, a hoard of old coins. These hoards are time capsules, collections of money that were buried for safekeeping centuries ago and never recovered by their owners. Morocco, with its long and often turbulent history, has been the source of many incredible coin discoveries, each one giving us a new glimpse into the past and the role silver played in it. Imagine the story behind such a hoard. Perhaps it was a wealthy merchant, fleeing from an advancing army, who buried his life savings hoping to return when things were safe. Or maybe it was the treasury of a local governor, hidden from a rival or a tax collector. One of the most famous discoveries was the volubilis hoard, found near the ancient Roman city. It contained a huge number of almohad square silver dirhams, giving historians an invaluable resource for studying the variations and mint marks of that powerful dynasty. It confirmed the massive scale of their minting operations and the economic strength of their empire. Other finds have revealed Morocco's deep connections to the wider world. Hoards containing a mix of Moroccan dirhams alongside coins from Spain, the Middle East, and even Viking-Age Scandinavia have been unearthed. These mixed hoards are powerful evidence of the vast trade networks that crisscrossed the globe 1,000 years ago. They show us that a silver dirham minted in Fez could travel north to pay for timber in Scandinavia, while a silver coin from the Abbasid Caliphate in Baghdad could travel west to be spent in the markets of Marrakech. Each coin is a traveler with a story to tell of its journey. For collectors, certain Moroccan silver coins are incredibly rare and sought after. The very first dirhams of Idris I are almost legendary, as so few were minted, and even fewer have survived. Large presentation-style silver coins from the Sayyadian era, or coins from short-lived rulers or rebels, are also highly prized. These rare coins are more than just valuable objects. They fill in crucial gaps in our historical knowledge. They can prove the existence of a little-known ruler or confirm the location of a lost mint. These discoveries, whether of a single rare coin or a pot containing 1,000, ensure that the story of Morocco's silver is constantly being updated and retold. Morocco regained its full independence in 1956. One of the first acts of the newly sovereign nation was to create its own national currency once again. The country looked to its own history for a name. The franc was abandoned, and in 1960, the modern Moroccan dirham was introduced, named in honor of the silver coin that had been the heart of the nation's economy for over 1,000 years. While the new dirham was not made of silver, its name was a powerful symbol of restored independence and a connection to a proud monetary heritage that stretched all the way back to the Idrisids. Today, the coins you will find in Morocco are made of modern metals, but the legacy of silver is not entirely gone. The Moroccan Royal Mint continues to issue special commemorative coins to mark important national events, and these are often struck in precious silver for collectors. These modern silver coins are works of art, using advanced minting technology to create beautiful designs that celebrate Moroccan culture, history, and the monarchy. They are a link in the long chain of silver coinage, a continuation of the tradition of using precious metal to mark moments of national significance. Looking back, the story of Morocco's silver coins is the story of Morocco itself. From the crude dirhams of the first Idrisid rulers, declaring their independence, to the elegant square coins of the Almohads that dominated Mediterranean trade, from the large ornate coins of the Saadians, funded by sugar and gold, to the machine-struck rials of Moulay Hassan, a brave attempt at modernization. Each coin reflects the politics, religion, art, and economy of its time. It tells a story of faith, of power struggles, of desert trade routes, and of the constant interplay between Africa and Europe. The journey of these silver coins is a powerful reminder of how objects can carry history with them. They are not just abstract economic tools, they are tangible pieces of the past. They have been held in the hands of sultans and merchants, soldiers and scholars. They have been buried for safety and rediscovered centuries later. Today, as the world moves towards digital payments and virtual currencies, the solid, tangible reality of a silver coin feels more special than ever. It is a piece of a story written in metal, a story of a nation at the crossroads of the world, a story that continues to shine.